Hello everybody, what is up, Prof here, and today we're going to be doing a bit of news and coverage on this year's 2015 E3 Sony press conference. Alright, so to kick things off, we got a pretty gigantic surprise at the beginning of the press conference. I was not suspecting this game to even be shown whatsoever, especially when they first announced that, oh yes, we're finally proud to present a game that's been many years in development that many Sony fans have been anticipating, and we can finally bring it to you here today. And they finally revealed The Last Guardian coming 2016 to the PlayStation 4. And there's quite a bit of applause for that because it's like, holy shit, they're finally bringing this freaking game out. And because like for a while now, because I remember last year I was predicting it's like, okay, they have to show The Last Guardian. This is like the perfect chance. They got their new system, they can just put it on there and it'll be awesome. But we heard absolutely nothing about it last year, so I was like, well, there goes that rumor. Or prediction. But yeah, so they even showed off some gameplay which looks pretty freaking promising and looks actually pretty nice and beautiful. So I'm definitely pretty psyched. I'm just so amazed that this is finally actually coming out of console, seeing that it was first shown in 2007 and we all kind of thought, it was like, it's probably just scrapped. Okay, so anyways, our next game is going to be Horizon Zero Dawn, made by the same people who did Killzone. So this one's actually a whole new IP in the series. It's not even like continuation of anything. It kind of looks like a bit of a, like, I don't know, it's kind of futuristic, but it's also kind of like hunting caveman style almost-ish, sorta. Basically, you're kind of going through, you got all these robotic animals that you're going through and like having to fight, but you're basically trying to hunt down this main big one. In the beginning part, you're sneaking through these bushes and everything, and I'm sorry for none of the gameplay, but I know for a fact I would get copyrighted for using E3 footage, but do not worry folks, I will be providing all the links to all the games I mentioned in the links below. Alright, anyway, so yeah, basically you start off, you're sneaking through these bushes, and you get spotted by one of the lookout, I think some younger underlings of whatever the creatures are called, but basically it spots you, you have to basically run up and kill it real fast, and you're like, sorry, but I can't have you calling for help. So basically, you go through and you finally like shoot, I guess, these weird canisters on their backs, and then like that triggers for some reason that big Goliath monster to come after you. You're like, oh shit, I have to fight that thing. And then so you're basically having to switch to your weapons, figure out what the best way, and eventually you run straight underneath it, freaking shoot out underneath one of its panels, and then shoot off one of the guns, pick up that gun, and use it to actually kill the like whatever the monster's called, but. I was looking, I was like, okay, this game looks pretty freaking badass. So right off the bat, a second one I'm super freaking excited for. So I'm definitely really curious to see how this one does, and I really want to play this now because it looks freaking badass. Alright, so the next one we saw was a game by Square Enix, a Hitman. So yeah, we're basically getting a new Hitman. It doesn't actually have any name, it's just called Hitman. I don't know whether this is I don't think it's a remake at all or a reboot. But basically, it's like he's returning, and so far from what I saw from the trailer, the graphics look stunning. The gameplay looks like it was, well, I didn't see any gameplay, but as I can tell, it looks like it's going to be pretty damn promising, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a pretty good hit when it comes out. Alright, so next one is we got some Street Fighter 4, no, I am sorry about that, Street Fighter 5 footage, and then there's also going to be an exclusive PS4 beta starting July 23rd. So that's going to be pretty freaking awesome. So, I kind of heard some stuff where it's not working so well, but I don't know. So far, the game is looking pretty nice, and I'm sure on the PS4 graphics, it's going to look freaking amazing. Alright, so our next game was No Man's Sky. We actually got some gameplay of this. Now, this one honestly caught my attention last year just because, like, this looks amazing how you can just travel to any one of these planets, explore them, collect stuff, fight the alien monsters, and what they were showing off this time, there's literally an infinite amount of galaxies you can be traveling to. And there's even like when you're traveling around just in the space, there's like what is it called, spaceship battles. It's a horrible definition. But there's basically galactic battles going on. You can either choose to stay out of it, you can choose to pick a side or join in, whichever you want to do. And then you can pinpoint like different galaxies and go to it with your current warp drive, which I'm assuming later on you can upgrade it to travel to further galaxies. So basically we went down, and it's pretty awesome once you warp to it because you can see like the whole planet, and you can just dive straight down and you can see the land slowly getting bigger and bigger as it comes up on you. And then after that, like we're on a planet that did not have any actual alien threats to it, so basically you can actually shoot the environments, collect fragments from it, but then there's overseers on the planet who will basically start coming after you. So we kind of just basically ran away from it. We dove into this water where we saw these different alien fishes and everything. So this game looks really freaking amazing. It's another game I really want to freaking try out. Alright, so our next game was actually pretty interesting. It's called Dreams. Basically, in this game, you can create your own dreams. You can go into other players' dreams that they created. You can take stuff from their dreams and basically post it into yours and basically make it into your own creation. And basically what you do in this game is you kind of get a blank palette and you can kind of create your own person. You can do bears or whatever, nature. You can do futuristic settings where you're on this flying jet bike. You pretty much just create anything that you want and make it into your own dream and own landscape and however the heck you want to design the gameplay and settings. So this one's another really creative one. It actually seems really amazing. I'm really curious how this is going to do later on. Alright, so next one is called Firewatch, which I'm totally drawing a blank of which freaking one this was. And I do apologize for this because I just got done watching this, but yeah, so that was another, from what I can remember, I think it was a pretty interesting one, so sorry about that. So skipping on to the next one, don't worry, I'll be having the trailer for Firewatch, and then after recording I'll be kicking myself in the butt, like, what the frick, why didn't I remember this? Alright, so anyways, the next one is Destiny, the Taken King DLC. I think it's DLC, but I'm kind of confused because it looked like it had a whole separate box, which I'm assuming they might just be selling disc, but basically that's coming out 9/15/2015, and basically it looks like a continuation on the campaign of Destiny, where you have to fight, because basically in the last game, in the main story, you killed this guy's son and everything, so basically he's like, oh, you killed my son? Well, now I'm coming after you. So now you get to team up with your friends, of course, and basically go on all these new missions to basically take this guy out and finish the fight once and for all. So that was definitely pretty interesting, and of course probably will get me back into Destiny since I haven't been playing it for a while. Alright, so our next one was, of course, we got a new trailer on Assassin's Creed Syndicate, which, like usual, since I've always loved the Assassin's Creed franchise, seems very interesting. Kind of really curious to see the London setting, and also how it plays out with the two separate characters and everything. But we didn't really get a gameplay mission like we did last year's E3 but other than that, I'm not really complaining because it's definitely going to be pretty sick. I just hope they don't have as many bugs as last year because that was just horrible when that launched. Kind of sad I didn't buy it soon enough to see some of those bugs because they just look hilarious. Alright, next one we actually got some Final Fantasy news. First one is the World of Final Fantasy, which is really interesting because this one's coming out on PS4 and PS Vita. And basically, when it first starts out, it looks like these little cutesy characters, and I was like, what is this? It looks like something that would be on like 3DS, I don't know. But basically, then you see two of the main characters actually look like more humanoid and not all cutesy, but basically you go through this game, and I guess it actually has returning characters, but all cutesified, and basically who kind of like you see Cloud, and you see some of the different monsters you may remember. I think another character from Final Fantasy IV. So I was looking, I was like, alright, this seems interesting. I'm kind of want to check this out, but I'll probably wait to see what the reviews say about it. Alright, so this next one I was not suspecting, just like, was it The Last Guardian? So they finally announced, it's like, alright, this one's a bit of a treat for you. You guys have been asking this for us for years, and here it is. So then we see it, then you see the classic green light. It's like, oh my god, is that? They finally announced the Final Fantasy VII Remake coming to PlayStation 4, which is like, oh my freaking god, they finally... I honestly thought they were never going to do it, because it's like, they knew we wanted, but it's like, nah, we're never going to make it, screw it. So I kind of gave up hope and never thought that would happen, but this year Sony honestly impressed the crap out of me by bringing this out. And basically, I don't think we have an exact release date. All I know is this is like, holy shit, because they originally teased a tech demo, I believe, when the PlayStation 3 first launched, and I was like, oh shit, that would be badass. Everybody couldn't wait to play it, but they just come like, no, we're not making this, sorry, even though you guys are super excited for this. So yeah, alright, so for our next one, I've never actually personally played the series, but I know this is like, everybody's just like, holy shit. So we're getting Shenmue 3. No, the game's not fully made yet, or it's not being worked on. Basically, there's been a Kickstarter started for it. So basically, the developer said like, it's like, hey, we want to do Shenmue 3, but the fate of this game is in your hands. So if you want it, please donate to our Kickstarter. And I believe earlier today I checked out, and I believe the games are actually already funded within like 9 hours of the Kickstarter starting. Or it's like 9 hours or so, I forgot the exact time, but basically, as far as I'm aware, that's already reached its goal. So it looks like we're getting Shenmue 3, so I kind of need to go play the first two now, just so I can do this one. Alright, so the next one is pretty awesome. We got some gameplay footage for, I believe, an exclusive mission for the Batman Arkham Knight game on PlayStation 4, which is a Scarecrow Nightmare Missions. Which this one is like really kind of interesting because you basically start as a cop because it's like, yeah, the Joker was incinerated, so basically we expected a giant war, but then crime has actually been on the down low. So it's like, okay, so we walk into this cafe, nothing bad. Sony walks up to you, says like, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt on your dinner, but there's this guy smoking in this booth. He's like, fine, I'll handle this. So he taps on the guy's shoulder, goes like, hey, sir, yeah, you can't be smoking. Also, he turns around, it's freaking, as far as I can tell, it's Scarecrow. So then once he basically breathes into you, basically, you see, like, all of a sudden everything, like, goes into, of course, nightmare mode. You see a bunch of the versions of Scarecrow attacking other people, basically trying to attack you. So, like, Hop just starts shooting every single one of them. And the whole time I was like, oh my freaking god, those are probably actually regular people, and he's literally just killing off everybody in that cafe. But they didn't actually show that, so it's like, oh crap, that mission pack's gonna be pretty freaking badass. Alright, so the next one, they kind of showed a bit of Project Morpheus and what they have planned for it. They actually have which so far they've only showed off kind of solo experiences. This one's pretty interesting. It's actually there's a game called Rigs. It's a game of 3-on-3 versus multiplayer. So we're gonna be having, you can have like 3 players in a virtual world using Project Morpheus, doing basically like a shooter. I guess it would be first person sort of, but yeah, basically a 3D world as a shooter, multiplayer with your friends, like on Project Morpheus. So I was like, god dang it, I kind of really want to try this because I've never even tried any of the other virtual the VR headsets yet, and I really want to. But if this is as promising as it looks, it's gonna be pretty freaking amazing. Alright, so next we had some Black Ops 3 gameplay, which surprisingly, Black Ops or Call of Duty has always been more of an Xbox thing. They've always had all the exclusive content only for Xbox. It has been a big like Xbox supporter, but this year for some reason, Black Ops 3's actually switched to PlayStation, which was surprising. So we did get some gameplay where we get to see 4-player co-op in one of the missions, and basically it said like you can actually outfit your character, set up his supplies, basically to figure out how you want the mission to go, and it can go in different directions. So once I saw, I was like, okay, Black Ops 3 seem pretty badass. We also got some multiplayer footage and everything, which that looks like it's going to be insane online if they get it right. Alright, so the next one I think that wasn't really that cool. So I was like, they're like, alright guys, we're teaming up with was it Star Wars, and we're going to do Star Wars Disney Infinity 3.0. And of course this crowd was like, yay, okay, that's kind of cool, I guess. But yeah, so I mean, that wasn't too impressive. I mean, it kind of looks pretty cool because I guess you basically get to use some of the figures to kind of relive some of the old movie sequences. I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. And I guess like the starter pack gets you exclusive figures, or a special edition gives you exclusive figures that you won't be able to get to way later on, so you can play other parts of the story. So I mean, like I said, nobody was really cheering a whole bunch for that. I mean, it's kind of cool. I've never been into the whole games where you have to collect a shit ton of the figures because it just seems way too inexpensive, and I've not been that interested in it. Alright, so the next one is, of course, everybody knows, Star Wars Battlefront. So that one, I was like, it just showed off some gameplay a bit, and the graphics look freaking amazing on that game. I cannot even express. It's just like, I was looking at this like, damn, that is one freaking gorgeous Star Wars game. So yeah, that one, I don't think forgot what the exact release date, but that's another one. I was like, okay, I haven't picked up a Star Wars game since Force Unleashed, but this one, I'm just like, alright, I'm definitely going to be freaking at least wanting to check this game out if one of my friends get it. Alright, and for the very last part to finish off the conference, but with the best, but not least, Uncharted 4. We finally got to see a bit of a cutscene, and we're getting some gameplay in this one. But the funny part is, at the beginning of the part, it's like, alright, like Sully's like, alright, let's go. So then we're just like, okay, Nathan Drake's just sitting there. Why isn't he moving? And then, like, for a while, I was like, oh, I think they're having some issues. And then all of a sudden, the screen goes black. And they basically had to restart the demo. But the second time, the controller started working. So, basically, the game, of course, you know, Uncharted, is always freaking action packed and freaking looks fun as shit. And, of course, the graphics look amazing on the game. We're basically going through this whole city area where we were already in a firefight, and it's like we're getting attacked by this armored car. So we're basically like hopped in this Jeep, and we're trying to drive, basically trying to escape this thing. And every time we thought, I was like, all right, I think we finally got rid of it, then he freaking pops out of nowhere. It's like, shit. So then basically we're going through all this construction site, and we're finally almost getting away from it. Then what was it? I forgot what the girl's name. Why? But basically, okay, so we know the girl's basically on this one train, so I was like, crap, how are we gonna get to that? So we were basically trying to drive as close to it as possible, and then finally, basically, when we're close enough, like you see like a hook thing, and then he's like, slowly take the wheel. He's like, what are you gonna do? You know this is crazy. I was like, yeah, exactly why I'm doing it. He hooks onto the one of the hooks on the car above, and then basically you see him kind of narrowly dodging the bridge ledges, and then basically right when it ends with him basically about to crash into this one scaffold, and then it goes black. So I was like, oh shit, this game is gonna be freaking badass, and definitely gonna be purchasing this one once it finally releases. But yeah, so that was about it for our Sony E3 press conference. So far, I was pretty highly impressed with this one, mainly due to freaking The Last Guardian, freaking Final Fantasy VII Remake, the Batman Nightmare missions looks freaking badass. Uncharted 4, of course, like I just said, looks freaking awesome. I cannot wait to replaying that. Dreams seems really interesting. I don't know, it just seems like a really interesting creative game to play. And Horizon Zero Dawn, I definitely have high hopes for that one because it just looks like something new, fresh, and looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, especially if you can get your friends in playing with that. Alright, folks, that's all I got for the Sony press conference. If you guys have some comments below, please let me know what you thought of it, and I will be covering Xbox and Nintendo's later on. I've been a bit busy lately, so I have not got a chance to get to those press conferences yet. But I will be covering them. Probably next will be the Xbox One press conference, and I'll be covering that, let you know what my thoughts are on that. And then after that, I'll be doing Nintendo, and once I finish all three, I'll be giving my final verdict on who I thought won this year's E3. Alright, so as always, be sure to rate, comment, subscribe, because it definitely does help a lot, and I will catch you guys later.